Good afternoon, everyone. It's our PitNug 15-minute webinar. The topic today is SuiteSolutions shared vendor bills. And presenting today's webinar is our own Danielle Buds from Grossman, Yannick & Ford, along with Chelsea Pawanda. She is from Duncan Financial Group. She is a PitNug member and also our client. So they are going to do today's presentation. I'm going to ask if everyone can mute their microphone and then unmute it if you have a question or a comment. But last time we had some feedback from all the microphones. So if you guys could just mute your microphones so we don't get any of that. And then if you have a question, and we will have questions at the end. So Danielle and Chelsea, go ahead and start your presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Rhonda. All right, everyone, I wanted to go over this suite solution that NetSuite offers. It is a free suite solution that you can find in whenever you search and install bundles in your NetSuite account. It is called Shared Vendor Bill. This bundle enables you to specify the distribution of expenses and non-inventory items and taxes of a vendor bill across a subsidiary, department, classes, locations, custom segments, and accounts. This gives you the flexibility to be able to distribute real time when you're entering the vendor bill, rather than having to create a manual journal entry at the end of the month or using NetSuite's allocation schedule. The solution automatically creates the intracompany or intercompany journal entries, and it gives you the ability to create a distributions, whether they are percentage-based or amount-based, very similar to allocation schedules in NetSuite. One of the terminologies that you'll see and will be available in your account once you install this is a bill distribution schedule. The bill distribution schedule defines how the items or the expenses will get split up and distributed. You'll apply the schedules on the vendor bill to default the allocation weight. So as I said previously, this will give you the flexibility to apply the schedule real time rather than waiting, for the month end reoccurring allocation process. Let's see, sorry. Can you guys see my screen? Kind of. Okay, here we go.
I see it,
all right,
no problem.
So here, perfect. Okay. Here is the workflow of the distribution. So as we discussed, there are going to be some setup features that are required beforehand installing the bundle, and we're going to provide you the Suite Answer solution that has the guide that gives you a great step-by-step process of what you need to set up in order to be able to create the distribution schedules. And so within, before you're able to actually create the schedules, you will be enabling some features. If you are going to take advantage of the intercompany distribution schedules, you will need to make sure that you have the automated intercompany management feature set up, along with the intercompany entities, the customer and vendors, as well as intercompany accounts. So the process, the workflow will be, you're going to create a vendor bill. As part of the Suite solution, you will get a form called Shared Vendor Bill. So you'll select that form. And then you will select the distribution schedule, and that will identify whether it's going to allocate it intercompany across subsidiaries or intra-company across the different classifications. So, and as we discussed, it could be percentage-based, or it could be based off of the dollar amount. If you have, for example, a fixed expense, a lot of people probably would have a NetSuite subscription or something like that, whether, you know, that you could create a schedule for. So the overall goal of this suite solution is to improve the efficiency of allocating expenses real time rather than through allocation schedules or manual journal entries. And it allows you to, as I said, select the distribution schedule that you create on the bill, and will automatically, there's a script that generates in the background on save of the vendor bill. It will create the allocation bills, or the allocation journals, once the bill is approved. So the distribution schedules will be created. You'll create the schedule first and identify whether it is an intra-company or an intercompany schedule, and where you want to source the classifications or the accounts from. And then you will create a distribution schedule lines, and that is where you will specify the exact allocation and the percentages that you want the distribution to, that you want the schedule to apply the default allocation rates. So a few notes that I wanted to mention is the original vendor bill lines are retained whenever you actually enter a normal vendor bill. The bill distribution schedule will be selected at the header level of the bill. And then the distribution details, there will be an additional sub-tab that you will be able to navigate to, and you will be able to see the actual distribution that's applied to the bill, along with the weights, the percentages, and the allocation journal will be linked so that you can navigate to it. And then, so the solution manages journal entries in the following ways. So it will automatically generate the intercompany or intra-company entries to reflect the schedule. And as I said, the journals will be linked to the bills. And the solution also provides, if there are any adjustments required to the bill, you can adjust the distribution to change the percentage weights or the amount, and then it will automatically trigger for the original journal entry to be reversed and to recreate the journal entry based off of the updates or modifications that you have made. And then, as we discussed, the journal entries, the solution provides intercompany vendor and intercompany customers and the journal entries, which will result for the journal entries in preparation for the month-end elimination process. Now I want to turn it over to Chelsea to walk through an example of the distribution schedules that they have set up.
Thank you. So on this first screen here, this is an example of one of our percentage-based shared vendor bill schedules. And this is just to allocate to one of our locations, which is Aetna. So if you could go to the slide after that one.
Sorry, it is blinking something.
That's okay.
Here. Hold on. Okay.
Okay, so
okay, there you go.
An example of one of our bills. So it's put in the same way any other bill would be, except for the fact that you do have to choose your shared vendor bill form. And then under the classification tab, you'll just select the bill distribution schedule that you want to use. And since this one's not amount-based, it doesn't check that box. It's just the intercompany, and it's set on percentages. And then you can see you can split it between different accounts as well. So $1,000 is going to get split to the allocation for office rent, and then the rest of it's going to get split to building maintenance. And then if you could go to this slide after that one, This kind of just pulls it all together. This is the actual distribution after you run the bill and it's approved. And you can see that there is a link for the allocation journal entry as well. And it definitely saves a ton of time. We have 4 subsidiaries. So before this, we would sometimes have to cut 4 checks just for one bill. And this allows us to only cut 1 check. So it's definitely nice to have it.
That is definitely a pro. Okay. All right, so now we kind of wanted to open it up, go over the pros and cons of the solution. As Chelsea mentioned, definitely from the standpoint of being able to cut 1 check, as well as in real time to be able to see the distribution of expenses when they're actually entering the vendor bill. Another pro that I think of the SuiteSolution is that the SuiteSolutions are non-managed bundles. So what that means is they are not locked. So they could be further customized in your own account to meet your unique needs. There are some bundles that, you know, when you do get them and install them, they are locked. So I think that gives quite a bit of flexibility if you do need to make any modifications to the standard process.
Yeah, definitely. One of the ones, it does require a lot of setup. It takes, but once you get used to it, it does get easier. And once you have the actual allocation set up, it saves so much time. It's definitely worth the setup, but there is some tedious work behind the scenes to set them up.
Definitely. Yeah. Yeah. And it really is just, as you said, Chelsea, you know, identifying, you know, what are good examples that you would use this, or that you would maybe typically do manual journal entries for, or allocation schedules. Because you guys really have been able to leverage this and don't even have to use an allocation schedule, correct?
Right.
So they're definitely, and as we said on, you'll see, these are the Suite answers. This will be posted, but the Suite answers will show you, like, walk you through the SuiteSolution, and there is a really great user guide that will walk you through the setup process. So we hope that you guys found that this is maybe a solution that you might want to consider implementing or take a look at. As always, we suggest, you know, to provision it in your sandbox first, you know, test a few examples, and then prior to actually setting it up in production. That's all I have. I don't know if anyone has any questions at this time, if you want to unmute.
Well, I wanted to thank Danielle and Chelsea for taking the time to put this together and present it today. We will post this recording webinar on our PitNug website. Also, you know, feel free to reach out to me if you want, you know, have any questions for either Danielle or Chelsea, and we can get you connected with a person. And I'm not sure if we'll email the presentation or post it, but I'll let you know about the presentation too. So anybody with any questions? Okay then. So you guys did such a great job. There's no questions left. So okay, thanks everyone for attending. Look for more information, and we will send something in the PitNug email. So appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.